Yes, yes, yes. It's Raphael Dawkins, Combat Radio. And if you enjoy the content but have not yet subscribed already, then please kindly do so. Okay. So today we're talking about Eddie Hearn's statement regarding Deontay Wilder and franchise championship. Okay. Or franchise championship status. Okay. So as we know, Deontay Wilder came out and recently said that he would not be interested in the franchise belt. We know about the WBC, Mauricio Suleiman, and his relatively new franchise belt status, designation. Call it what you will. They call it something slightly different every time. And Deontay Wilder said effectively that he had no interest no interest in the franchise belt or acquiring franchise belt status. He had no interest in that. He said it took some of the enigma away from the standard championship, standard WBC championship. He effectively said it diminished it. It was a diminishing factor. Let's get rid of that. Okay, so let's get into Eddie Hearn's statement. Eddie Hearn's positioning on this matter. Many people applauded Wilder for his stance, his supposed stance. But you know, Wilder is a tricky customer. Says one thing today and another thing tomorrow and a damn different thing yesterday. So let's get into it. So Deontay Wilder would take the franchise title in a heartbeat. In a heartbeat. Says Matchroom head Eddie Hearn. The Matchroom promoter says Wilder wouldn't blink if he found a way to stay away from Anthony Joshua and Dillian Whyte. There's been a lot of talk about the WBC's newly created franchise title that's now held by Canelo Alvarez and Vasily Lomachenko. And whilst most of the fans try to figure out the need for yet another title, one that apparently cannot be lost, even by losing. Let's hold on. Let's pause there for a second. Imagine having a title that you couldn't lose, even after you've lost in a fight. What the hell kind of title is that? Okay, so apparently Matchroom head promoter Eddie Hearn thinks Deontay Wilder would jump at the chance to grab that distinction from the WBC, even though he's publicly claimed that he's not interested. Eddie Hearn says, well, first of all, he says one face, one name, one champion. And then, when we chase the undisputed fight for over a year, and you don't want to know, and Joshua loses, and it's one face, and it's one face, one name, one champion again. Now he says he'll turn down a franchise belt. If he gets the opportunity to duck Dillian Whyte or Anthony Joshua, or anybody, by being elevated to franchise champion, he would do it in a heartbeat, says Eddie Hearn. In the meantime, Wilder is currently set to rematch Luis Ortiz, fondly known as Old Man Ortiz or Old Tease. Where is he? We got him. There he is. He's up on the screen now. Old Man Ortiz In the words of Andre Ward, SOG, Ortiz, who has been 40 for the last 10 years. Okay, so this fight goes down next weekend. And it's expected to lead into another rematch, because that, of course, is a rematch. Is expected to lead into another rematch against Tyson Fury, February 22nd, 2020. On the other side of things, we have Anthony Joshua, who will be attempting to recapture his 3 major world titles from the Ponce, the guy we affectionately term as the Ponce over here in the UK, Andreas the Ponce Ruiz. But until Joshua wins those belts back, he's not really in a position to be calling Wilder out at the moment. Luckily, we could get some better perspective on how the heavyweight landscape is shaping up over the next month. But we're focused on Eddie Hearn's statement that Deontay, the bronze bomber Wilder, would take the franchise belt, the so-called franchise belt, in a heartbeat if he could have his way. And let's get into some of the responses to the article. Okay. So Saad 1000 says Wilder is adamant he wouldn't accept the franchise belt. I really want to believe him. Really want to. Want. The emphasis is on want. They're a couple of strange characters, aren't they? Couple of strange characters, aren't they? What's with the tongues? What's with the tongues? Disgraceful. Shouldn't see that in a heavyweight ring. Anyway, AJ should never step foot in the ring with Wilder, says Andy Amo. Andy Amo 708. He's regressed while Wilder has come into his own. He'd breezed him inside 3 rounds. Same for White. Says Andy Amo. Says Joshua's regressed while Wilder has come into his own. Has Joshua regressed? Eddie Hearn saying Wilder wants to do something that Wilder publicly has said he doesn't want to do is pretty great. He's also conveniently ignores that his 2 heavyweights just got knocked out by a late replacement. He also conveniently ignores that his 2 heavyweights. Which 2 heavyweights of Hearn have just got knocked out by a late replacement? I know Anthony Joshua did. Who else? Who else got knocked out by a late replacement? The purpose of the franchise designation had the same origin and aim as the WBA Super Belt, to avoid mandatories, says Rainbow Circle Clown. What? Throne, sorry. Rainbow Circle Throne. That picture's too small. What's going on? That's better. Okay. With the WBC, you become franchise, and your mandatory challenger gets elevated to the WBC title list. With the WBA, you become super, and your mandatory challenge gets elevated to regular title list. And since your challenger has become a champ, he's no longer the mandatory challenger. Wilder doesn't need a franchise tag because he doesn't have to avoid any Mandos. His only Mandos were Stavern 2 and Breezel, both KOs. First round KOs, actually. First round? No, Breezy. Didn't Breezy get into the second round? Did Breezy get into the second round? I can't remember. Could have been the first round too. Can't remember. I think it was the first round. And the Breezy fight got him $15 million plus. 15 million. That figure keeps on inflating. Why does that figure keep on inflating? First of all, it was 10 mil. Now it's gone to 15 mil plus. Damn. Where is all this imaginary money coming from? Why would you want to avoid that? The WBC is already doing him well. You don't need anything on top. Do you forget that he avoided Dillian White for over 600 days? Mr. Rainbow Circle Throne. Do you forget? Y'all must have forgot. Yes, but you can lose the WBA Super Belt. It's so dumb that the franchise belt can't be taken away. It's laughable. Finally, a sensible opinion offered by N. McVicker 03. It's truly absurd. The most brazen cash grab of any of these chuckleheads I've ever come up with. Guys should be embarrassed to accept this corrupt shizzle. Say Saad 1000. Yeah, that also is an interesting comment. So what say you? Would Deontay Wilder accept the franchise designation, a title he could never lose? After showing little to no interest in clashing with the likes of Anthony Joshua, Dillian White. What say you? It's Raphael Dawkins. It's the Combat Radio. It's the like, it's the subscribe, it's the comments, it's the shares. And it is the hitting that bell icon to stay updated with news and notifications. And it's the side eye from Mauricio Suleiman, WBC El Presidente. And the man himself, the bronze bomber, doesn't like to fight mandatories. So they've made his next mandatory somebody he's fighting already. Oh dear. What a situation. It's Raphael Dawkins. It's the Combat Radio. Follow me on Twitter. And I'm out.